What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate. Today I'm going to be doing a tattoo tour. This has been a pretty relatively highly requested video, so it's probably time that I actually sit down and film it. And a couple of them are going to be hard to show, so I'm going to sit like a little bit off to the side so I can insert clips right over there of the ones that aren't going to fit in the frame. And yeah, I guess we'll get started. I'm going to do the two that are, well, I'm gonna start with the one that I maybe don't like the most, and then we'll kind of go from there. There's only one that I really don't like, completely love, and I don't regret it at all because it was my first tattoo and I never would have found this love for this kind of art if I hadn't gotten it, but it's time to change it. I had an ex-boyfriend who was kind of a tattoo snob, to be honest, and he made one nasty comment about it, and yeah, I haven't liked it since. So my advice is to start out with small tattoos. You can always get them covered later. I'm planning on covering this one this year, you know, assuming I can afford to cover it this year. But yeah, I don't regret any of them. It's just not my favorite anymore. It's time for a change. So we'll get into it and I'll tell you a little bit more. So the first tattoo that I don't really love anymore is a quote by Julia Child. It says, "People who love to eat are always the best people." I'll insert a clip right there. It was my first tattoo. I got it done when I was 19, about to turn 20. And I got it done by Aaron. I'm 90% sure his name was Aaron, at Halo Tattoo on Marshall Street in Syracuse. If you know, you know. Go Orange. And yeah, funny story about that one. So I've always wanted tattoos, pretty much. I was probably like 10 or 11 the first time I was like, wow, tattoos. And I was so sure I was gonna get one the day I turned 18, and I just didn't. It just fell off my radar a little bit. I was extremely busy in high school, and I was in my senior year of high school when I turned 18, and it didn't fit in my calendar, more or less. I went into college, and sophomore year, December, we were taking organic chemistry, and I was studying Orgo 1 final with my best friend Natasha, and we kind of got to the point where we were sitting in Bird Library, again, the Syracuse kids, if you know, you know. We had no focus left, and we just started looking at tattoos on Pinterest, and I found this one quote, and I had known that I wanted a food tattoo for a long time. This is not what I planned on, but I knew it was gonna be food related. If you didn't know, I have a degree in food studies, but at the time I was majored in nutrition science, so still more or less a food related degree. And I chose this one because I love Julia Child, and I love the message she has, basically showing that anyone can cook and you don't need to be a professional chef. And yeah, I like that she kind of showed that anyone can do anything if you just put the work in. So we went to exam, failed it. Are we surprised? It's Orgo. Actually, no, that's a lie. I don't think I failed that one. I think I might have gotten like a 70. I think I finished the class with like a 70, but we didn't do great. Orgo 1 wasn't great. Orgo 2, absolute nightmare, didn't even finish the class. So we left the exam, we were like, let's just go get tattoos. That was the only like coping mechanism we even had for it at the time. So I'm sitting here editing, and I just heard myself say this, and I'd just like you guys to take a moment to think about the level of stress that you would have to be under, that you would need to have a needle repeatedly stabbed into your back as a coping mechanism. That's what organic chemistry is like. So if you have to take organic chemistry throughout your college career, that's what you have to look forward to. It's the worst. Anyway, back to the video. I was living on South Campus, which is like satellite campus to at my university, and there's a bunch of apartment complexes. So I ended up taking the bus back afterwards, and I just remember the smell on my t-shirt, and I still have the t-shirt too. It's a blue tie-dye t-shirt. I just remember smelling like the medical cleaning supplies smell. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like almost like rubber gloves and like dentist offices. And I just remember going home with that smell on me. And I've worn that t-shirt for almost every tattoo I've gotten since, which is kind of hilarious. It's one of those ones, it's blue tie-dye. If I can find a picture, I'll insert a picture here too, but it like won't show the ink that bad, I figure, if I happen to get ink on it. Regardless, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that was my first one and I hate it at this point. I've been considering options to cover it for a long time. I'm not gonna get it lasered off. That's just stupid to me. I know plenty of capable artists who can cover it with something way more satisfying, way more aesthetically pleasing, and something that people can't really like make me self-conscious about. Yeah, at the moment I'm considering covering it with like a crane, like Japanese art. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. For the rest of them, I think I'm gonna tell you about the 2 more that I have that are gonna be hard to show on camera, and then I will work down the rest of my arm. So the next 2 that I have, this is not in chronological order, by the way, it's just whatever is easiest for me to film. So the next one I got was on my ankle. It's like on the front of my ankle. So if I was wearing shoes, I'll insert a video obviously. If I'm wearing shoes, it's like on the very front. Like if you stand at me looking head on, it's like a kind of a front cuff on my ankle. And it's one of the designs from Corralware dishes. And you'll probably recognize the line if you grew up like in the kitchen with your mom. Again, kind of a food tattoo. Every woman in my family has this. I'm pretty sure my mom definitely has it. Both of my grandmothers had it. I have aunts who have it. My godmother has it. Like all the women in my family have this specific print of this specific casserole dish set of Corralware. I thought it was just a good way to symbolize like all the women in my family. I consider him my primary tattoo artist. I currently live across the country from him, but if you follow me on Instagram, which I will put my handle over there, and it's gonna be linked in the description, my artist is Matt Zarzecki, and he's been tattooing at Ascent Gallery in Cortland. I've heard rumor that he's moving. Not sure about that, not sure where he's going. I will link his Instagram in the description. Be sure to like take a double check and see where he is before trying to book an appointment with him. But he was in Cortland, New York when I got this one. Yeah, he did an incredible job. He always knocks it out of the park. So yeah, that is that one. And then next I'll show the clip one more time. I have a little C on the inside of my ankle, and yeah, my name's Kate. There's not much to tell about that one. Yeah. Next, we're just going to work down the rest of my arm. I'm going to show them all to the best of my ability, just sitting here. So that island kind of scene is my most recent one, and ignore the fact that it's a little bit faded in the sun. I am gonna get that touched up, but it's just been a crazy month and I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But I got that one done by Andrew Morales in Old Town Ink in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is where I live now. And yeah, he did a really great job. I know that my skin doesn't hold color very well, so I knew that at some point, I knew that one of the colors on here wasn't gonna last. Didn't know which one, but I knew it wasn't gonna last. And it was really funny because he was like, my tattoos are built Ford tough, it'll last. Color just does not stick in my skin very well, despite having so many colored tattoos. But yeah, he did a really awesome job. I just picked this from his like book of flash. I don't know if you guys know what flash means. It's like pre-drawn designs that the artist like wants to do. It's like things they've drawn in their free time. That's like, yeah, when you like walk into a tattoo studio and there's like art all over the walls and like pre-drawn designs, usually it's relatively traditional. That's flash. So yeah, I picked that one out of his book of flash. I found it on Instagram and I just DM'd him. I actually went with my friend Alex, who works at Buckle. And what Alex did was really cool. They have a machine there called Get What You Get machine. And it's one of those old-fashioned sticker machines they used to have at like bowling alleys and like roller skating rinks. So you insert your quarters and then you pop it in and pop it out and it dispenses like a design. Back in the olden days, like 15 years ago, there would have been a sticker inside or like a temporary tattoo. They have flash designs inside that they've all drawn themselves. It's like drawn by guys in the shop. And the way it works is you can pick like a certain price like limit you're looking at. And then I think it was $80, $120, $150, and $200. If I'm wrong about that, I'm really sorry. You can find it on their Instagram for sure. I'll have that link down below. And he ended up getting a skull tattoo and it came out really good. He decided to do color on it, so it's like backed with red and it has a yellow gold, like a gold tooth, which is really cool. And I just remember it being so funny because I think it was maybe like a week prior, 2 weeks prior, Alex was like, oh, I'm getting all black and white tattoos and I'm just gonna do one single red rose at some point. Like, it had something to do with his mom. I couldn't tell you all the details, but I said to him, I was like, I know you have that plan now, but you have one tattoo right now. And I can promise you, you're not gonna stick to this idea for the rest of your life. It just doesn't work out that way. That's just not how tattooing works. And I know that I planned on doing like mostly like script and like lettering all over my body, black and white. Yeah, I have like extremely colorful designs now. So that's how planning your tattoos works out. I tends to be a more, I don't want to say impulsive, but mine are pretty impulsive. Yeah, you kind of just have to collaborate with your artist and see what's going to work best for you. So the next one I'll talk about is, it says, I want to be a leader even when I've lost my way. My favorite musician is Oliver the Kid, and his band is La Bouquet. This is one of the lyrics from a La Bouquet song called 1990. And yeah, it's just a really good lyric, and I love Oliver the Kid, so. And I got that while I was getting my next one shaded. I already had the line work done for this next one that I'm gonna show you. And I had gone back to get it shaded and I was like, hey Matt, like let's do another thing just while I'm here. It was right before I moved and I knew I wasn't gonna see him for a while. So I was like, let's just get it done. And yeah, he didn't charge me anything extra for it. Love you, Matt. You were a real one. Iconic, honestly. If you have a chance to go to Matt, go to Matt. He's the best. And yeah, I'll show you my next one, hopefully. Okay, despite the fact that this is a little bit warped from like me stretching my arm out, it is, sorry, I really don't know how to show this. That is a floor tile from when I lived in Florence, Italy. That's where I studied abroad, and it took me until my last weekend in Arizona. It took me until my last weekend in Italy to actually make it to the Duomo, despite having lived there for almost 4 months. I had been looking all over Italy for like floor tiles and like geometric designs, tile work, and there's so many beautiful churches, and I just really wanted something like geometric, something I knew I wasn't gonna regret. A lot of people come home from abroad with new tattoos. I came home with a piercing. My tragus is pierced. I don't know if you can see that. I just have a little ring in it. So I chose that one. And Matt, being the angel that he is, I sent him a really terrible photograph of this floor tile in the church in the Duomo. I will put the picture over there, and somehow he got this incredible design out of it. He's a miracle worker. But yeah, I just wanted to get as much time in with Matt as I could too. He's really become more of a friend over the years. He's an incredible artist, will do anything that I ask him to do for the most part, but he's a good friend too, and you should definitely go to him. What's next? Okay, I'll do this one next. I'll try to talk fast. This is an impossible triangle, and it's from Matt's Flash. He put this flash out when he was still doing tattoos for free as an apprentice. So yeah, that should give you a sense of like the timeline of how long I've been going to Matt. I didn't get it for free. I did pay him for it down the road a little further. My godmother's a math teacher. She showed me something really cool. Basically, like if you were to make the impossible triangle like a loop, like out of a piece of paper, the whole thing is one side. If I can find a clip of this on the internet, I will insert it. If not, I'm gonna try to explain it. So if you were to like make that with a strip of paper and you twisted it and taped the two ends together, and then you put it down on like a countertop or desk or whatever, and you took your pen and you drew and like pulled the circle, the loop, and kept your pen in place, eventually the whole thing would have that line on it. It'll eventually, the line will reconnect. And I just think that's so interesting because it's basically a one-sided shape, but like, it's not. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Anyway, I digress. Okay, they're gonna get a little trickier to show because they're a little bit lower on my arm now. But the next one I will do is the lips. That is what they look like. And this was another one by Matt. You shouldn't be surprised. I got this one. This one was another one where Matt really like came through for me, and I just spit ideas at him and he just came up with something and it was perfect. So it's from this Hindu story that I loved. I don't know anything about Hindu culture in reality. Please don't attack me if I get the details of this wrong. I found this story from the Life of Pi movie. Okay? Okay. So basically, from my understanding of it, the god Krishna, the Hindu god Krishna, was a young boy, and he and his brothers and sisters and like the neighborhood kids were outside picking fruit off the tree. And the god Krishna was eating the fruit, and one of his brothers got mad and ran inside to tell his mom that he was outside eating dirt. And his mom came out and asked him to open his mouth to prove that he wasn't eating dirt. And he opened his mouth and she saw the whole universe inside. It was a really cool visual in the movie Life of Pi. So if you have a chance to watch that, absolutely watch it. Yeah, really great movie. Couldn't tell you what year that was made, but I don't think there was multiple versions of it. So yeah. Next one is I have a Shaka symbol. And that one was by Matt as well. That one was very much an impulse move. I think I was getting the Impossible Triangle shaded, and then I just ended up getting the Shaka while I was there too, again. Yeah, a lot of mine have been pretty impulsive because it's like I'm already at the tattoo studio, I might as well just get a second one. Yeah, basically my boyfriend had just broken up with me and I was a mess, and I just wanted a symbol of like, it'll be fine, and I was throwing up a lot of Shakas at the time, and that's how that happened. And I remember it was so funny. It was, of course, Matt doing it, and at some point he was like, I gotta warn you about something. And I was like, oh my God, did he mess up the tattoo? Like, he was like, yeah, you chose Wild Berry Pop-Tart colors. Sorry, what? What? But yeah, if you want to look one more time, I really did. I chose Wild Berry Pop-Tart colors. It's like a very light purple and like a teal color. So now I have a Wild Berry Pop-Tart tattoo. That's how that happened. And yeah, I just decided to stick with it. So yeah, that's the story about that one. All right, we're getting close to the end here. I hope this video is not too long. It's kind of feeling like it might be. But the next one that I got was the first one that I got from Matt, actually, and that is this set of leaves. I still actually need him to fix this one specific leaf and like fix the coloring on it, because again, my skin just doesn't hold color. But yeah, that one was another design from Matt's Flash Tattoos. My ex actually found Matt, and I don't think my ex has ever been to Matt, which is kind of the funny part. But excuse me, I'm eating grapes. Anyway, sorry if I'm talking about my ex so much in this video. He's kind of the one that got me convinced to get more like artistic tattoos and not just like words. So that's why I had followed Matt for a really long time, and I was just kind of waiting for him to post like that one piece where I would just feel it in my heart that like this was the one that I needed to get from him. I loved all his work, but I just wanted something that kind of hit a little different. And I absolutely love plants. I have a ton of plants now. Admittedly, a lot of them are dying now because the air is just so dry here, but in New York, I was a plant queen and I love my plants. So I decided to get a plant tattoo, and he posted this design, and that's just what I ended up with. I immediately messaged him and was like, it's mine, I want it. and I ended up sitting down with him. And that brings me to my last one. If you know me from like high school time, that you probably already know about this one, but it is right there on my wrist. It says, "Love Mrs. R." Mrs. R was my art teacher in high school. I lived in her room and just had the best relationship with her. And I really thought that I was going to have her around for the rest of my life. And the universe had other plans. I found out my sophomore year of college that she had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and she was super strong. She fought through it and she ended up beating it, only to later find out that she had been diagnosed with brain cancer. She was very much loved within our community, and she passed away in April of 2017. It was a really tough one for me, to be honest. That loss has hit me harder than any other loss thus far. I mean, I really thought she was gonna be there for like my college graduation, you know, my wedding, presuming I get married. You know, I thought she was gonna be there for it all, and the universe had other plans. So that one was really tough for me to deal with. But yeah, she was a huge role model for me and had a huge impact on my life. And especially now I'm at a point where I really want to, I've always been creative. I lived in the art room with her, especially my senior year. I spent almost my entire day in the art room. In New York, we have like Regents diplomas and then advanced Regents diplomas. If you take like a certain number of like elective credits, everyone has to take a certain number of elective credits, but then you can opt to take more. And I opted to take 10 art classes. So yeah, I mean, 10 art classes over the course of 4 years. That was a lot of art classes. But yeah, I loved art and I still love art. And now I'm getting to a point where I realize that I probably should have just stuck with art from the get-go and just gone to college for that. Now I'm realizing that I'm more of a creative person and that I should be in a more creative position. That's where we're at. If I had any advice to give you, it would be, don't get tattoos until you're legally of age. Don't, you know, don't do anything stupid. Second advice would be, start out with smaller tattoos. Don't go for one huge tattoo right off the get-go, because if you end up hating it later or changing your like theme later, it's gonna be a lot harder to cover. Find an artist that you truly love and stick to that artist. Find someone who's experienced, fairly priced, has an artistic style similar to what you actually want. And finally, don't be afraid to like speak up if you don't like the design of a tattoo. I find it's a lot more beneficial to both you and the artist if you're working collaboratively. Hope you guys learned a little bit from this video. I get tons of questions on my tattoos all the time, so here we are. So that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys. One more little side note as I'm editing this. If you guys have any other questions about my tattoos, my artists, anything related to that, drop them down below as a comment and I will respond to all of them.